AITA for refusing to tell my brother that his daughter might actually be my child. Hot dog. By UEEPOMAO. My brother Will's wife, April, recently passed away from cancer. He has a 7-year-old daughter, Lacey. The thing is, there is a strong possibility that Lacey is actually my daughter. April had an affair with me shortly after they'd gotten married. Already don't like that wording. She had an affair with you? You mean we had an affair? I'm not debating the assholeness of us having an affair. I know that I'm a huge asshole in that regard. After we slept together, she got pregnant. We had a mutual agreement that we were never going to tell Will what happened as it would devastate him. As Lacey grew up, she began to look more and more like me. I don't think Will ever clued in. April and I talked about it a few times, and she said that just based on the timeline of when we slept together, there's a decent chance that Lacey is mine. When April got cancer, Will was obviously devastated. Near the end of her illness, April told me that eventually she would like Will and Lacey to know what happened between us. She made me promise to tell them. I promised her that I would, just to give her some peace. She passed away last month. I still have not told Will, and I don't think I ever will. He has been hyper-depressed since April died, and telling him this would just devastate him, let alone ruin our relationship. For all practical reasons, Lacey is his daughter. He's the one that has raised her, and neither of them know any different. Especially since April died, I think it would just be cruel to tell him that this daughter might not even be his daughter. On the other hand, I did promise April that I'd tell him, and if she is actually my daughter, I don't know if it would be better for that to be out in the open or not. Again, I'm not debating the assholeness of the affair. That's not the question here. AITA for not telling my brother.
Wow, this guy should never, ever, ever breathe a word of this to anyone, and I hope that he used fake names.
Yeah, I feel like he did.
I'm assuming,
April, Lacey, Will. I mean, what is this?
Yeah, who names their daughter Lacey?
No, that's terrible. That's a hard drive, sir.
A what?
Hard drive.
Oh, yeah, I have one of those.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me. This I don't know. I feel like we can figure out a way that this, because look, honesty is the best policy, right? I know it's a cliche, but
usually, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because like I think everyone and really, like I said, even in the Reddit, everyone is sort of like, don't tell. Like nobody is questioning that.
But usually in certain, like in other types of situations, it's always like you should probably just tell them.
Yeah,
but not this one.
My best analysis is like, look, to come clean in this case, right? That means you get to take the load off your shoulders. So OP gets to take he gets to stop bearing this burden.
Yeah. So to me, the reasons that I think it boils down to like you should not tell him are like, number one, who would it serve? Which you touched
Himself,
on.
Yeah.
Number two, what are the odds that she would find this out independently? She's already like, how old? Do they say?
Oh, that Lacey would find out. Well, so
grew up. So she's growing up. So it's like, all right, they've kept it a secret for this long.
Right.
And then number three, you're not even certain. And number four, it's like it would destroy your relationship. It would destroy two people for like literally no reason. So all around, I really can't see any benefit. But also like the wife, shouldn't she know whose kid it is? Like she should have a pretty good idea.
What do you mean?
In terms of like the timing.
If she was fucking them both.
Damn, that's cold to be actively fucking your husband and having an affair with his brother.
Yeah.
I would have assumed they had like a dead bedroom at that time, but
no, not necessarily.
Yikes. That would be cold.
Well, just because you went into the uncertainty question, a lot of people did bring up 23andMe and that she could get a 23andMe, but as far as I could tell, that wouldn't tell you who the father was. That would just tell you.
I don't know how those work because I've never gotten one because I don't want the government to have my DNA.
Right.
But I just thought it was like what your
And do you really need a chart
is.
that just says Jewish? I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. No, it'll be a waste of money. But yeah, I don't know how it works. But I think there are people who found, because I think basically like if anyone else in your family has done it, then it'll match you with those people.
Oh, so it'll link you together. Okay.
Yeah.
So
but then it's like, all right, as long as he doesn't get it, as long as the dad doesn't do 23andMe.
Right. That seems like a pretty low risk. Dads don't love 23andMe.
Yeah. It's a risk, but I don't know how real it is.
I've noticed the popularity has gone down a lot as awareness has gone up that like they own your DNA.
That's
People
good.
don't like that shit.
Yeah, don't do it, guys.
Whisper M writes, NTA, if it doesn't have any purpose other than giving the deceased peace, then it is not worth it. Do not crush an already devastated world. Let them live in their blissful ignorance of belief in each other. You deserve to carry the weight of that guilt. Nobody else but you.
I agree. It's like this is your punishment for doing something so catastrophically bad.
Oh God, how hard.
It's like, first of all, you fucked your brother's wife and you did it without a condom.
Yeah.
Somehow worse.
Is that what?
Yeah, it's like you're not even being safe. Also, you put her at a risk for STDs, and now you have this whole pregnancy fatherhood issue. Jeez, this went about as bad as it could have been.
I don't know, but the way you word that, like my girlfriend cheated on me. My first question isn't, but, well, you know, was it raw dogging?
I mean, I think it's worse because you're putting them at risk.
Yeah. Fish ass writes, NTA, shut your ass up. People got angry. I know Fish. He's
I know,
very
as if
nice.
the OP is like reading this. It's like, now listen to me. You shut your mouth.
Yeah, like I just picture like grabbing him by the collar, sitting him down.
Yeah.
Shut your ass up telling your brother you had sex with his dead wife and possibly conceived his daughter. Well, she did the conceiving, right? She will still be his daughter even if it turns out you were her sperm donor. She is not and will not be yours, will cause an immeasurable amount of pain to him. I hate telling someone to ignore a relative's dying wish. In this case, you must. I think in general, though, fuck the wishes of the dying. If they're dead, you know, it's a pretty low priority. They're dead. Ghosts aren't real. So
right. I mean, in this case, especially, like, this request was real fucked up.
Yeah, it was, and it was thoughtless because it served to benefit no one. Alex C. writes, you effing suck, dude. NTA for this. Keep your stupid mouth shut.
So wait, I don't think a single person was like, no, you promised you should honor this promise. No one did, right?
No, and I looked through this. This is what I was talking about earlier, is that no one in the subreddit really said anything different.
Good.
The top Reddit comment, Lily in Shadows, YTA, if you tell him, there is absolutely no which is basically saying NTA. There is absolutely no reason to put this burden on your poor brother and niece. You and your brother share the same genes, so she doesn't need to know for medical reasons. This will destroy your family. Leave it alone.
So should we talk about your initial verdicts, which was no assholes here?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess the question there is, so I had posted about this, and then you said the dead lady is the asshole. Can a dead person be the asshole in a situation?
Yes. Okay, here's why. Because this is really between, in terms of like who's the asshole, it's like him for ignoring this person's request. That's kind of what this boils down to. So the asshole is the person who made this request. And yes, that is the dead lady. Because now the more that I think about it, the more I'm like honestly mad. Because I'm like, you did something very terrible.
Yeah.
And you are like, oh, I'm going to wait until I die, make the other person shoulder the entire fallout of this nuclear bomb, and I'm going to be dead, so I don't have to deal with anything, even though I was an equal participant in this.
Okay, I think we are starting to get into like real inside baseball AITA here, but I'll push back a little bit on that and say, you've made a good point here.
Thank you.
That a dead person is part of the situation and could be the asshole, but I submit to you, the victim of the dead person's request, right, is OP, and fuck him, right? He's the one who has to bear the additional burden of the request, right? So he might have some additional guilt because he's like, not only do I have to bear the guilt of having fucked April, now I know that I'm also betraying April's wishes. Like, so I don't know. I don't know.
So I don't understand what you're saying.
So why is she? How could she be an asshole when what she did is ultimately just throw more guilt on OP? That's her crime.
But I think you're approaching it from the perspective of like he was psychic and knew that like then this was her real intentions was to saddle him with more guilt. I think her intentions were exactly what was said.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So her intentions were for him to tell.
Yeah.
But why would she want that? Because
I don't know.
She felt guilty.
Because she felt guilty. She wants her daughter and whoever to know the truth.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Woo!
You got me. All right, so AITA for refusing to tell my brother that his daughter might actually be my child. I'm going to transition from no assholes here into NTA, and the other person is, and we're talking about.
Don't you dare fucking tell anybody about this shit.
April is the asshole, we're saying.
Yeah. May she rest in peace.